Hi everyone, I'm Sanjana and I have Aquibur with me today to talk about the future of email marketing. Hi Aquibur, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, hi Sanjana. Thank you for having me here.
Awesome. So Aquibur is currently the founder and CEO of Mailmodo. Mailmodo helps businesses to add web-like interactivity like forms, surveys, calendars right inside emails. And Mailmodo is changing the way emails are sent. That's what intrigued me to interview Akubar today and ask him where email marketing is headed. So Akubar, shall we get started?
Sure, Sanjana.
Great, great. So first of all, like before we jump into the topic, let's talk about your journey so far. Like where did you start your career and where are you now? How did you start Mailmodo? Can you tell us about that?
Sure, Sanjana. So, like most Indian engineers, I am an engineer plus MBA, and
Okay.
I figured out that I wanted to do an MBA after I uh, wasted 3 years of engineering life. so, so after, but even though I did the MBA, I always wanted to do a startup. And that's why after MBA I joined a startup. It was called iProf. The role at that time was not very clear. I was doing a lot of data work, and I was helping the CEO with his different projects, and a lot of projects started coming to me, and most of them were into marketing. And from there I got more interest into digital marketing because a lot of things were still evolving in the Indian startup space in the digital marketing at that time. And my next job was into digital marketing at Cardeco, and then I moved to ClearTax, where I was heading whole marketing for ClearTax. So after having these few jobs, I wanted to start something of my own. My interest was
Okay.
into B2B SaaS, especially marketing SaaS,
Okay.
because one SaaS, because I believe that from India I can build a product for the global audience in the SaaS space, and marketing because of my own background, because I think that I understand problems of marketers on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So that's how the journey shaped up. I chose Mailmodo because when I was evaluating various ideas, I came across this technology called AMP email by Google.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
realized that this is something very new and can change how emails work. So if you
Yeah.
see, emails have started at the same time as web, but web evolved so
Yeah.
fast, right? Every year there
Yeah.
has been a technology. Yeah, earlier it was web 1.0, which was completely static, and today we are at web 3.0, where we are
Yeah.
talking about like NFT and
Yeah.
crypto, blockchain, etc., etc., right? So but
Yeah.
if you see, emails have not evolved even a bit. Probably the first email you
Yeah.
got or your parents got, right, and the latest email that you got, they are pretty much alike.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I saw a huge opportunity how emails can evolve with AMP email, and that's how I went deep into it, and I understood the whole technology and realized that it is very much for tech people, not for marketers or product managers to use it
Okay.
comfortably. So that's why Mailmodo came into picture as a no-code tool for marketers and product managers to help them create interactive web-like experiences within email. So that
Okay.
has been the
Got it.
journey so far.
Got it, got it. And like, how is the awareness level of A and B emails with regards to marketers? Are they aware of such technology?
The awareness level is still very low. Actually, it has not been publicized very well so far.
Mm.
Unfortunately, there are few people who know about AMP email, but they don't know how to use it or how to implement it in their businesses.
Mm.
There is still a lot of work need to be done on the education of AMP email.
Oh, okay, okay. And who majorly can use, these emails? Like, which industry will majorly
Okay.
benefit?
So I would say like all industries, like all kinds of emails can be improved with AMP email.
Okay.
Whether you are sending a simple newsletter or whether you are sending emails to take certain actions. So emails can be basically to inform the user or to engage them to do certain action, or to help you grow your business or revenue or whatever the key action is, right?
Yeah.
um, you can probably do the information part even with the normal HTML emails, but you can do engagement and conversion much better with AMP email. Whether you want them to like a fill, take an action, or to register for a webinar, for example, or to
Mm.
provide you feedback, or to make them a decision or purchase, make them a purchase, right? All
Mm.
of that can be done inside email, or even book meetings.
Okay.
Like whatever you do on web, it can be simply replicated into a mini app inside email.
Got it. Got it. And you were right when you said that web has gone from 1.0 to 3.0, but email is still the same, right? So
Hmm.
what do you think of this, and where do you think email marketing is headed?
Yeah, so that is a difficult question, but what I think that email will grow as a communication channel over next few years, and it will become a channel where uh, you will there will be two types of communication channel. One will be async
Okay.
channels, and one the synchronous
Yeah.
short messaging. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
So short messaging apps like SMS, WhatsApp, Telegram, etc.
Mm.
They will be used for like real-time messaging, while email will be used for those types of messaging where immediate response are not required. So
Okay. Uh-huh.
from businesses to users, for any kind of information provided, like you have booked your insurance renewal date is coming, your domain renewal date is coming, or you have a message for a meeting request, etc. All these things will still continue to be on email, especially from a business to consumer or business to business side. This will continue to happen. More P2P communication will be happening on messaging services like WhatsApp and SMS. So that is my hypothesis, and email will still evolve itself to do to become something like a Slack, where the experience, the messaging experience, as well as the usability experience will improve
Yeah.
for the end user.
Great. Great. And I've always wanted to ask this to a CEO of a email marketing tool. Like, do you get frustrated when people say that email marketing is dead? Like, it's very clear that it's not dead. In fact, emails are the only one marketing channel that works well for every marketer, right? Like, do you get frustrated?
Yeah, definitely, because it is not just about the marketing part, it is even from a user point of view, right? Email is
Mhm.
not going to be dead for me as a user.
Yeah.
The first thing that I do in the morning is probably open my email and check all my emails, right? And
Yeah.
plan my day, plan my actions, next actions, etc. And mostly that is through email, not through any other service. The other thing is
Yeah.
that web companies will continue to get email IDs through signups on their platform, and
Yeah.
it is probably the only way in which a company can communicate to their user when once the user has left their web or app, right? So
Yeah.
there are
Right.
no other captive audience, or there's no other direct way to communicate to your users other than email, unless until you have a mobile application where which can also be uninstalled. If you have phone number, you can easily be blocked, and you cannot like do all kinds of
Mm.
messaging on SMS, and it is very costly as well. So email remains to be the channel from where marketers or businesses can communicate to their users. So from their point of view, it is not going to be dead. From a user point of view, the slowly, the most of the email clients will be smart enough to filter out spam messages and messages that those are not relevant, etc. And
Okay.
those messages will be there on email, which are more and more relevant. So what marketers need to do, who say that hey, emails are dead, they need to be smarter about how they send the email. They need to be proven useful to their users. They need to send emails that make sense, not bombard me with hey, there's 20% off, 2 days remaining, 1 day remaining, 0 day remaining. So that should not be happening. You need to be very considerate about how you send the emails to your users. You should feel that if the same emails will be sending to you on a daily basis, would you enjoy that? So that would be the message to people who say that emails are dead.
Great. Thank you for that. And like, how do you prevent being blacklisted by your ESP?
Yeah, so the same answer will go there. Like you need to find, as a marketer, you need to or a business, you need to find ways in which you can be proven useful to your users. You get blacklisted when you bombard your users
Yeah.
with unsolicited emails where they are not expecting your emails and they complain against you, and then you get blacklisted. The
Mhm.
best way is that think how ESPs think. So ESPs basically think from their user point of view, like how they can help their users have a cleaner inbox, right?
Mhm.
So for them it makes sense to filter out the emails which are useful to the user, and filter out the emails which are not useful to the user, and keep only those emails which are useful to them, right? So the only way you can prevent being blacklisted is to be more and more useful, send relevant messages, target your users, segment your users in a way that you send them the right messages at the right time. With, like, basically there should be relevancy, there should be time, right time, and the content should be the right.
Got it. Yeah, makes sense. And you know that email types can be broadly classified into three, which are newsletters, transactional emails, and then we have behavior-based emails. Right now, what are some of the best email marketing strategies that you have seen work well?
uh, okay, so that will require long answer, but um, like some of the strategies would be, if you ask me on the top of my mind, is
Mm.
like, you if you start thinking from a user point of view what your users will like, you will eventually create good emails. um, so I generally divide it uh, into three parts. One is the whole infrastructure level, where you manage your domain, IP, your authentication, etc. For
Yeah.
security reasons, etc. You keep them all in place, which includes like you should have your SPF, DKIM, DMARC set up properly. You should have a good domain reputation. You should have a good IP reputation. To control that, you should be sending um, a consistent volume of email to your good users with good messages, and keep your unsubscribe rate and bounce rate, etc., at a lower stage. That will keep your domain reputation, IP reputation in check. Second part is the content part, where create the content which your users want, not something that you
Okay.
want to sell them. So that includes your subject line, your content inside email, the images that you use, etc. um
Mm.
so there are certain good best practices which include, like, your image size should not be very heavy. You should not be using too many links in the email. You should not be using lot of heavier images, etc. And all of these are there, principles are there because of the first principle, which is think about the user. If there are too many links in the email, people will not be liking it. People will not take to action on too many links, etc. If the images are heavy, it can create them problem. It consume their email space. It takes time to load as well, etc. Right? So think from a user point of view, and you will be able to derive what you should do.
Okay.
So yeah, so from one, infrastructure, second the content, third part is the segmentation and targeting. So
Okay.
you should be identifying which users want to engage with you. So suppose if your users are not opening, or some of the users are not opening your emails, so you should remove after certain emails, like like we generally remove user from the list after 5 emails are not opened from them. That means they are not
Okay.
interested to read your email, and you should
Mm.
probably filter out them or send only very important messages to them. So
Mm.
in that case, you are also improving your domain reputation, as well as your all your metrics will start looking good.
Okay. And who handles these email communications? Like, what is the designation that we can call them?
So, in like, you mean what kind of job roles are there in the market
Yeah.
who control email?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are actually like different role, like starting from an email marketing manager to a CRM manager to a life cycle marketer. So
Mm.
and I have seen like plenty of new roles coming up in different organization to handle email as well as a user life cycle in total. So email is
Mm.
just one channel.
Mm.
Companies need to start thinking from a full user journey point of view, like once the
Yeah.
user has come on web, what activities they have done on web, and if they leave, what page are they leaving, and after what action they left, accordingly send
Mm.
them email, accordingly send them messages through other channels, etc. as well. And
Yeah.
it should be part of your full strategy, not just one channel.
Okay. Makes sense. Great. And can you also share some, best examples of A/B tests you ran so far?
So during my period at ClearTax, I we used to run a lot of A/B testing on email. Some of the things that we did, like we included social media links inside email in one set, and in another set we removed the social media links, and we saw that the open rates as well as the click rate, etc., increased on those emails where the social media links was not available. And it makes
Okay.
sense as well, because there's no point, like even now at Mailmodo I see that a lot of our clients put social media links in the footer. Actually there's no point of doing that, because in your email you should have a one single call to action, and you would not expect your users to go to your social media pages from your email. They should be
Yeah.
going to your website or taking the right action that you want them to take.
Right.
So adding just unnecessary links in the email would not help you. So yeah, that was one experiment which we did. We did a lot of experiment at Mailmodo in terms of doing AMP email comparison with a normal email with certain clients, and we saw that they get huge increase in response, like sometimes it's 3x 4x, especially with emails like NPS email or feedback email, where the user have to generally click on a link, go to a website on a type form or a survey monkey, etc., and
Yeah.
then they have to input the email ID and fill the full form, etc. In a busy life like now, people don't have that much time. People check email when they are walking, talking,
Mm.
eating, or watching TV, etc., right? At that time, if you want them to do all of these things, like open an email, read the email, click on a link, go to your website, and then provide your email and then provide feedback, people will not be interested to provide feedback. If your objective is to
Mm.
get as much feedback as possible, that should be inside the email itself, like
Okay.
make it easy for them to provide your feedback. So there we saw that the AMP email forms helped our clients to get much better result, like 3x 4x than normal emails. uh, yeah, other experiment we also tried doing with like having the structure of the email. Like if your call to action is not in the first fold of the email, uh, the probability of your click rate or the call to action being taken is very less compared to when the call to action is in the first fold. So I always advise people to have your call to action upfront for the user in the first fold itself, because they should see and they should know what action they need to take.
Great. Great. And speaking of call to actions, can you share a few creative CTAs you might have seen?
Yeah. So there's nothing creative about CTS. It should be something that uh, motivates people to take the call, take the action. So it should
Hmm.
not be something like click here to know more. That is a uh, that is a call to action which is not helpful to me at all. It hides the end message as well. The better message should be like, suppose if you are sending an insurance, so your call to action, if you want to take the user to that page, your call to action should be know more about this XYZ insurance, right? That
Oh,
should be the
okay.
call to action. You should not be here to click here to know more. So
Oh, okay.
because
Got
click
it.
here to know more, I don't know where you are going to take me. So
Ah,
that is one like difference between the just simple messaging. Uh, other other thing could be like provide call to action like as much inside the email as possible. Do not take them to a different landing page where they have to provide like traverse to other 4 5 pages again,
hmm. Okay.
right? So that should be like, even if you are doing feedback or NPS etc., if you take them to a different page to collect the feedback, that will reduce your conversion. Rather, if you ask them the feedback then and there itself, it will help you better. um, Also try to be more direct and precise, not vague. Like if you're booking a like if you're sending an email to book a meeting with your users, you should not be, hey, uh, will you like to talk to us? So suppose this is a call to action, will you like to talk to us? The answer could be yes or no. Let's say the answer is yes, then again you have to say, okay, when are you free? Then he would say,
Yeah.
okay, I am free at XYZ time. Then you said, hey, I'm not free. So this is delaying the decision, and every second you delay, it means that the person can change his decision to talk to you.
Correct.
Your call to action should be simple. Okay, hey, would you like to see the benefit of your product at this time? Then he would say yes, or he would say no, but I'm available at this time, right?
Hmm.
So your call to action should be very specific and helpful for the user. At the end, my every answer would lead to that your email should be helpful for the user.
Got it. That's very interesting. Now, like we spoke about these strategies and few tactics. Now, how do you measure the success of an email? Like, what metrics would you measure your email performance? And is it okay to measure emails based on open rates, close rates, or is there something else that we are missing?
Okay, so Apple has recently brought new policies where they made open rates quite redundant. So in Apple Mail, all your emails will be counted. Like whoever opens the email in iOS 15 and further, it will be considered like open, like whoever you send to. So open rate is definitely not the right metric to measure your success. People
Hmm.
will start seeing sudden increase in open rate, but that is not the right metric. Your right metric should be aligned with your business goal. If your business
Okay.
goal is to drive more revenue on your e-commerce website, it should be if how much revenue have your emails brought. If it is more meetings for your SaaS business, it should be how many more meetings have the emails brought. If it is
Hmm.
more engagement, it should be measured in that way. So your open rates are not the right metric. Your end business goal should be the metric that you should be measuring from email.
Great. Awesome. Uh, and the last question that I have for you today is, what content resources do you recommend to learn more about email marketing and whatever you spoke now?
So Mailmodo team is writing a lot of content. You should definitely read them.
I'll definitely recommend Mailmodo. Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on what types of emails you send, there are different resources. So, for example, if you are more into B2B and you send cold emails, etc., Tools like Lemlist and Mailshake, etc., have very good blogs. Uh, if you are more into user marketing and through emails, uh, there are a lot of available resources on uh, Mail Genius, and there's Email Geeks community which you can join.
Okay.
It is a Slack community, and there are a lot of active discussion happening there, so you can join there. Yeah, and searching on Google helps a lot actually.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for these recommendations. And I think I've exhausted all the questions that I had for you today. But before I wrap it up, can we just do a quick rapid fire?
Okay.
Okay. So who do you follow the most on LinkedIn?
um I I don't like, I don't follow the most as such, but but I keep reading a lot of different kinds of posts.
Mhm.
So I like posts from on both on LinkedIn and Twitter. Is like I like posts from
Yeah.
Julian Shapiro. Then
Yeah.
I like posts from Dave from Drift, and
Yeah.
from closer to India, I follow financial post by Ajinkya from Vint Wealth, and yeah, those people come on top of my mind.
Great. Great. And what's your favorite book or favorite podcast?
Uh, Podcast I don't listen too much, but
Okay.
in books I read this book called Traction. It is a very good book
Hmm.
in terms of it covers all the different marketing channels, growth channels, etc., in a
Yeah.
very simple manner, and anybody who is not even from marketing, they can understand what kind of growth channels, etc., they can use. Another book which is in my reading list is High Growth Handbook by Elad Gill. Uh, so I am looking to read that.
Great. Awesome. And one last question. Let's say hypothetically you're getting your career started. What would you tell to yourself?
To me,
Yeah.
okay. So retrospectively, I probably did it, and which helped me in my career, and which I
Hmm.
would suggest to other people is that, like, you need to keep doing things which is beyond your job description. Like, you need to keep innovating. So suppose um, if your job role is, let's say, just data entry, let's say filling reports in Excel, right? Which look like a menial job, but you, what you should do is, like, you should innovate about it, like how you can do your job better, how, or how the outcome of it affects. You need to understand how the your work affects the end outcome of the business, and how
Hmm.
you should see or think, like, how it can affect the end outcome as well. Like, whether you write content, whether you do marketing, you need to keep innovating and keep learning. And I probably did that in the early days of my career, and which helped me in growing my career.
Great. That's a great advice. I think uh, people who are starting their career in marketing, they should definitely take a listen. And thank you
That's
so much for the
for
advice.
any career, not just for marketing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Great. Yeah, so I think I got what I wanted from this session, and I've exhausted all the questions that I had for you today. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I loved enjoying the conversation that I had with you today. So I'll give all the links that you mentioned in this video in the description so people can check it out. And also, I'll give your LinkedIn profile link in the description so people can connect with you later. It was nice
Sure.
talking to you, Akubar. Thank you.
Same here.
Thank you. Bye bye.